pay, let's take another step. Or an I, let's evaluate what's left of how I feel. The real intentions you kept hidden under your sheets, the same place you would later tempt me to meet bare feet, playing fifties in the pillows, all innocent and shit, until you started spitting riddles like, I don't know how I feel, or ain't this going too fast? Well, you seem to like the pace when you was tapping that ass, so tell me right now, when were you gonna let me know when you transferred me from Group A to Group Ho? Group A being the type of girl you would call on the phone every night, acting like you wanted insight into my world.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Different girl, you would say. In the back of your mind, you would saying, shit, I just wanna get laid.
Hey, yo, gang.
You played me.
We're gonna start after this poem.
Every time, but not before I admit
Welcome,
that I still
everyone.
got my pride, 'cause deep inside, at least
You in the
I
chat,
am
let us
guilty
know
of a
where you
sexual
from.
crime, because even though it was consensual, you were never indispensable to me. You were a person, not a toy, given the benefit of the doubt. Apparently to a man who thought his dick had some clout over who I was. And I was wrong to let morality slip. But moral set sail so bad habits can jump ship. A fat lip, two black eyes is what you deserve. But instead, I'm sending you an uppercut of words straight to your jaw. You may see yourself as perfect, but inside you got one flaw: insecurity. As you were securing me against the bed, thoughts of failing, bailing on me ran through your head. Gotta leave before it's too deep. But gotta get it in deep before she leaves. Your last girl left you hanging, so you did the same to me, and I'll agree with the overall consensus that I was stupid to have fallen, but at least I was relentless in trying to make something of what we had. No matter the shadiness of plans, baggage dams, the river that's blocked by your egotistical stance to decide that this just wasn't for you. You know what, this just ain't for me either. And just like Nas slammed that Jay-Z on his classic Joy Ether, I'ma call this my Ether, part 2. A dedication to a mistake turned lesson, known as you. Get off me, don't even talk to me, just get out of my car.
Yo, you know what it is, Queen David, the Pen Click Prime Minister. Welcome everyone back to another two-piece combo live poetry and music review. On a two-piece combo, we review both music and poetry submissions from you. So if you want your music and poetry reviewed by us on our live stream, be sure to follow us on Instagram at PenClique, PenClique. And yeah, we'll hook up with you and get your poetry and art reviewed right here, baby. Let's go. All right, and that being said, we have William Bissick in the building. Hey. What's good, family?
What is up? Thank you for having me here. I'm so excited to be a co-host on the two-piece combo.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Shout out to Mr. Daniel Hees, who's not currently here. He's down for an account as he recovers from his surgery. So hopefully we'll see him, in a couple of weeks, hopefully next month. But, until then, our family, our Pen Click family is holding us down, including William Bissick, who is a poet. He is an MC. He is an educator. William Bissick, please tell him a little bit about yourself, sir.
Yo, what's going on? I'm MC Prototype, William Bissick, Mr. Bissick to my students. I'm an educator at an art school in downtown Pomona. I'm also an MC, a spoken word artist, and an entrepreneur.
Hey, gang. Yo, shout out to the chat. Zachary Briones. He said he asked if Daniel Hees is doing better. Yeah, Daniel Hees is doing much better. His throat wound where they went in through his neck to do his disc replacement surgery, it's all sealed up. You can follow him on Instagram at the Chubby Fat, TheChubbyFat, the Chubby Fat. That's Daniel Hees' Instagram. He gives updates regularly, so it's pretty good to see the brother that he's healing, and yeah, he should be back in a month or so. So we'll see. That being said, what up, chat? It's been a while, so yo, let us know where you're from, ASL. Let us know in the chat where y'all from before we get into the first piece. Hey, yo, how many of y'all know what ASL is? Is it? Are we all just a
Dude,
bunch
that's
of
the AOL. That's the AOL times, man. Age, sex, and location.
Hey, facts. See, William knows. He's like, I know that one.
Hey, don't tell my age. I'm 24.
yeah, eternally. He just knows ASL because the big homies told him. You know, it's like, yeah, you know, young homie. You know what ASL is? You ever have to like I was about to say some wild shit, but it's like, anyways, yo. So the 2-piece combo, right? We're about to get into our first piece. And throughout this stream, I'm gonna like re-say like what we're like, you know, what we're about, because we're trying to edit this video for perpetuity. So that being said, our first video is from Marcus Lee. The Thought is his band, and this was actually submitted by yo, hold up, shout out to Jude. He says, yo, 36 male, 5'6", 5'6", hey, gang. 5'6". I think my cousin's from there. That's like East Los-ish. Right? Shout out Jude for outing his own age and letting everyone know that he's like an older millennial. But yo, we're still millennials, you know. So I was like, we're property owning, hopefully, and yeah, our generation's thriving and shit. All right. So that being said, all right. Let me bring it back. Hold on. I said the 2-piece combo is where we. Hold up. Fuck that up. Yeah, one more time. I said the 2-piece combo is where we review both music and poetry submitted by you on this live stream. And we're here to watch the video, give it our thoughts, and give it a little slam score out of 10, just so y'all know what our preferences for poetry are, as well as hopefully help you guys figure out what your preferences for poetry are as well. Our first piece is a music piece by Marcus Lee from the band The Thought. This is one of Daniel Heese's homies. William, as an educator, what is the correct possessive of Daniel Hees?
You know what? As an educator and as a former English teacher, I would just avoid it altogether. I would have just said it's one of Daniel's homies. You're making it confusing.
Wow.
You know, set yourself
wow.
Test, you know, run around it. Tell the students, like I said, you know what? Let me get back to you on that. Right? And then go on living your life.
It's kind of like when you're in a freestyle and you run into a word that like you don't really know how to rhyme, so you just say the words before. It's like, yeah, it's like the microphone orange or an orange microphone off the dome.
Exactly.
Leave you all alone. It's like, let's go. Shout out to Zachary Briones, who's 28, male, and from the 909, Pomona represent. Let's go.
We're using Clique as a dating app now. Look at this.
Hey, gang. Daniel, he's out here. The Thought and Marcus, both P-Town MCs. Let's go. All right. So Marcus and The Thought, that is actually a name. I thought that was a band. My bad. So let me reintroduce one more time. Hold up. Yo, I'm only like, 3 sips in, baby. Like, I'm already, slipping and sliding all over, like Trick Daddy, you know what I'm saying? So hold up. I said, today we're going to review a music piece, and that piece is by Marcus Lee and The Thought, who are both from Pomona MCs, P-Town Strong. You could see it in William's shirt, Pomona gang. Shout out Vital Pomona. And yeah, we're bound to get into this. And boom, let's go.
Let's do it.
Black noise, yeah.
Shout out to The Mask. This is a new music video.
I've been trying to get back. I've been trying to get my peace of mind. I've been trying to get back. All my real ones get that. Making progress might take some time. I've been trying to get back. I've been trying to get my peace of mind. I've been trying to get back. All my real ones get that. Making progress might take some time. I've been trying to get back. Get my peace of mind. I've been trying to get that. Might take some time.
Yo, high key. Vocally, it kind of reminds me of your homie, Rebel.
Oh, Rebellion. Man, my man's outside right now. Okay.
He kind of reminds me of him. No lie. His voice.
I've been trying to get back. Get my peace of mind. I've been trying to get that. We can make it. Gotta shake it, I can make it. Make sure I'm staying on the pathway that I'm taking, saying we can make this little plot that I got. Keep in mind that I'm headed to the top. I ain't landing with the shot. This drops is all I got. I put him up.
This shot is way overexposed.
in my ear when I'm headed home from work, cause I'm headed home to work in circles. Yeah, I search for purpose to unearth herbalist working with firmament. No, that shit ain't permanent. All I want is to earn a little piece and some mental peace, then I'll be completely. How I handle John Cena, you can't see me. About to shave my head from my handle, cause I've been trying to get back. I've been trying to get my peace of mind. I've been trying to get back. All my real ones get that. Making progress might take some time. I've been trying to get back, get back, get back. Get my peace of mind. I've been trying to get back, get back, get that. Might take some time. I've been trying to get back, get back, get back. Get my peace of mind.
So you almost got run over? Is that what we're saying? It's like, oh, the singer almost ran over the rapper. Is that what happened? Yo, imagine if he actually fucked up and he actually did run him over. It's like, oh no.
I've been trying to get back,
Production problems.
I don't know where I lost it, but I know that I did. I did ways when you cross it, or the slow with the skips. On the road to a coffin where they closing the lid with a hammer and nails, so no one sees you like this. That adds respect for emotion. It's such a silent precaution. I can't get dressed for the ocean. Well, it's the world that I'm stopping from dropping down till it's broken. You think a condom has options? We'll take some shit that I've stolen and double up at the auction. Overflow with the faucet, flood the floor with mistakes. Empty down my pockets, cause I ain't bored with.
What do you say? Like overflow like a faucet? I'm flow with mistakes.
Stopping from dropping down till it's broken. You think a condom has options? We'll take some shit that I've stolen and double up at the auction. Overflow with the faucet, flood the floor with mistakes.
Overflow with the faucet, I flow with mistakes.
Yeah.
Yo, hold on. We need some of that.
Empty down my pockets, cause I ain't bored with the breaks. Born if I'm a prophet, if I'm more the same. When the wallet's to grind it, what a chore to be sane. I can't afford to be confident, I need my voice for recording, but I'm still packing the bomb till it's like 4 in the morning. Been so trapped inside my brain, can I get back to the storm? Such a habit, I'm in pain when I ain't tapping before. I've been trying to get back. I've been trying to get my peace of mind. I've been trying to get back. All my real ones get that. Making progress might take some time.
Hey, yo,
I've been trying to get back. Get back, get back, get my peace of mind.
Oh man, you don't know, this guy almost killed me.
Get back, get that, might take some time. I've been trying to get back, get
back. What they saying while he's smoking?
Get my peace of mind.
Bong, that's what it was.
Cool. Yeah.
All right, tight. Cool. So everyone in the chat, let us know what your scores are for that out of 10. We got a few more shout outs here in the chat. We got for Janie, 29,
that's
female.
Hey.
Oh.
No one be hollering at my wife, man. That's Janine. That's my wife. 29 plus. Okay, she a little bit over 29. Okay. She's from the 909.
Mark Poblete says yo. Jude says yo. Kuya Mark, high five. Gang. Hey, people are clicking up in the chat. That's what's up. Hey.
Yeah.
All right. So that being said, William, you as I believe like you help manage a band that also is Pomona, very soulful hip hop vibes. Like, knowing that, what do you have to say about this particular band? What would you review it? And of course, a slam score out of 10.
Yeah. Oh, dude, judging music. All right, cool. I love the vibes. The vibes were nice. I've been trying to get back. I've been trying to get back too. I'm trying to get back to being back on stage and before this pandemic. I love this. This is feel good music. I don't know which guy is which, right? So Marcus Lee was the second dude, right? That's the Get Back singing guy, right?
I think.
Am I correct?
Yo, chat, let us know who's who, because neither of us are familiar.
And I'm guessing the Thought was the first MC.
Oh wait, hold on. We gotta pay respects. We got Young Identity from Manchester tuning in. Yo. Let's go. England in the building. Wagwan, innit?
Time is over there.
They're 8 hours ahead. That is mad. Yo, big ups Young Identity each and every time.
Marcus is a black dude. Dang it! I didn't want to assume that Marcus was a black dude. That's a black name, but yeah, Marcus is a black dude. Okay, yeah, that's a black name. Marcus Lee. I should have known. All right, so Marcus Lee, super dope. I loved it. I just love the flow. I think this is some classic hip hop. This is something that I would love to just be driving down the 60 listening to. The Thought, I guess, is the second dude, the singer. What I appreciate about the singer is that he can actually rap. You know, some singers, they rap, they do like some singing rap, and it's not hot, right? And he was going back and forth, and I really appreciated how like he was in the pocket in both. He found a groove and he stayed in it. I was waiting on him to like hop out that groove though, and because it became a little bit predictable after a little bit, right? I was like, all right, okay. You gonna do something here, or are you just gonna stay in here? So he stayed in that groove for a little longer than I would have appreciated. But it was nice. It was nice. That intro I've been trying to get back. It definitely set the tone for the track. I felt like it was long. I was okay. Let's get to these bars. Let's get to these bars though, because they had us grooving for a while, and I was expecting them to start rapping. But this track is hot, man. I'd listen to it. I played in my store.
So what we say out of 10? Out of 10.
Out of 10. I'm gonna go ahead and give this a hot. I'm gonna give it a hot ocho. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10, man. Because you shouldn't be getting 10. If you're out of 10, then there's no way up. You're there.
All right, 8 out of 10. You know, it's respectable. You can definitely get into the second round. Hopefully, you know, like if other ones are slumps, and plus score creep. You know, like this is the first piece. This is the sack piece. Okay, so score creep. All right, we gotta explain. Yeah,
we should have had a sacrificial like song to.
And this is what it was. So shout out. So real quick, sack poet, sack piece. William, as an educator, do you think you can summarize that for the people? What a sack piece or sack poet is?
All right, so a sacrificial poet or a sacrificial piece is a way for the stage to be warmed up in a slam, right? So we put up a person before the slam actually starts to get the mic right, get the stage right, but more importantly to calibrate the scores, right? So all of the judges can score this sacrificial piece first, right? So we can all see like, all right, this is how we're gonna judge, right? So it's unfortunate when we hop right into the game because there's nothing to calibrate our scores to before this person goes up. So I apologize, Marcus Lee and The Thought. If y'all were looking for a 9 or a 10, it's a hot track, straight up. I would listen to it. I let my kids listen to it, but you know, that's the score that I gave it.
Let's look to the chat real quick. Jude S gives it a 10 out of 10. Hey yo. Young Identity also gives it a 10. Oh, that's a lot of love all the way from the pond. You know what I'm saying? Across the pond. Let's go. Daniel Hees, that's his personal homies. I love Pomona hip hop so much. 9.8 all day.
You're gonna make me feel like a bad guy right now. That's messed up.
Young Identity says, I agree. Yes, brother man, nice. Feel though. Yes, true say 8 is right. So looks like Young Identity also supports your scoring, Mr. William Bissick. Daniel, he says The Thought doing it all bars, production, engineer, songbird. Okay, so The Thought is doing, you know, like a full production piece. So that's very respectable. Shout out to him. Jude S said, got it. 8. No, you can't change your score like that, bro. You can't. You have to stand your ground. Bro, stand your ground. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't let William Bissick guilt you into lowering your score. You give him a 10, you give him a 10. You gotta stand on that, bro.
I can't believe it. We over here zooming in on his face when he talks, man. How do I get that effect? Hey, zoom me in when I say something. Zoom me in. That's what I just did.
For sure. All right. So what I'm saying is it's a cool track. It very much does have like that Pomona style of like, you know, funk, G-funk, hip-hop influence. I haven't listened to so much of it, of that style. The closest reference I have to that is Lyrics Born, who's like from the Bay, like, if you know Lyrics Born.
Oh, I did a show with him recently.
Yeah. The show. Lyrics Born style. You actually had a little cameo on Always Be My Maybe. And he always had that super soulful vibe. Like, it's so dope. So that's like, at least I'm not too new to this. And so that being said, all right, so as I always say, you know, my preferences for poetry and music when it comes to slam, right? If you're in round one and I want you to get to round two, then I have to hear like a haymaker or something that's like super impressive on some like wordplay stuff, or even on a creative level of like, I've never heard anything like that before. That being said, like Proto was saying, like Mr. William Bissick was saying, it is like a very, good vibes, very chill song. This is definitely not written to be, a competitive song, and it's very unfair that we're treating it as such. But off lyrics alone, if I heard that a cappella at the lounge or something, first round, I always say that, being able to carry melody is a bit the cheat code, because it's always impressive. Like, oh, damn it, I can't sing, bro. It's like, you just got that earns an extra point. So you can't. I mean, unless it's like a group slam where like you got teams. A group slam is where teams of poets compete together, and they all get scores together. And so in this case, you could have like a 2-person team compete against other 2-person teams. It's very much.
I love the way you cut out and then you went into your explanation, but you also changed your voice. It was almost like this was a cut. Like, so we're talking about group slam. A group slam it was so great. So
hey,
I like that.
We have to, man. We have to for the kids,
And I love the way you're dragging out this score, man. You make me feel like the bad guy. Right. Say your score.
All right. That being said, for a slam, 8 flat. I agree with William. 8 flat. Let's go. Because again, like we said about so many other pieces, like this is not a slam piece, of course. It's not made for that. But at least that, like, by giving it a score, we can actually express what we appreciate about art. And that's the point, right? The points are not the point. The point is the poetry. So there you go. Thank you so much.
I'm going to give you a score at the end of this on how you're doing. Yeah, because you doing too much going back. You know what I mean? Let's go ahead and stay strong. Don't justify your score. Say it's an 8. That's why I gave it an 8. Don't give all these extra disclaimers.
Right. For sure. So that being said, we're about to move on to our first poem of the night. Tonight we're only going to run 4 pieces. We're going to run 2 poems and 2 pieces of music. The next 2 pieces after this poem is a poem by Daniel Hees and a little rap by yours truly. So the Pen Clique boys are also on the chopping block. So if you ever felt some type of way about us, like this is the time to, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right, hold up. We got Young Identity saying you need to listen to Isaiah Hull, one of the most original poets in the UK at the moment. Yeah, of course. Like Project Kill Isaiah. Like I've been on that. It's like you know Young Identity that I rock with the MCR crew heavy. So y'all don't even trip. Like we stay up on that. We stay up on them. Reese Williams, he had a fire spoken word album. Shout out to Esther. Shout out to Jardel Rodriguez. It's like we stay up on the British poets still. Mark Poblete says, I'm in the car now getting something to eat. Yo, shout out to Mans over there. Getting something to eat, getting fed. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, we need to ask people at home, right? So if you're watching this at home, what score would you have given this, right? Put that in the comments below. Make sure that you are scoring this as well. Because I want to come back and read your score and see if I was too harsh or if we're in alignment.
Yeah. Put it in the actual comments. That way we have it for perpetuity purposes. You know what I'm saying? All right. So that being said, we have our first poem of the night by Jude S, aka Hey Jude Saint Jude, gang. Submitted via Instagram, and his poem is called Inum na tayo, which is Tagalog for let's drink. So I have a feeling that this is heavy about Filipino identity or Filipino American identity. So I might need to translate here and there. So yeah, let's get it. All right.
If you ask me what I am, I will give you a different answer at different points in my life, said someone anonymously. And honestly, I am no exception. When 23andMe says I am 99% Filipino and 0.1% broadly Southern European, it tells me what my ley lines look like and where they lay. Lying in
Ley lines look like and where they lay. Yo, that was okay.
a
Let's go.
home between worlds. A place where mahal kita is synonymous with mom asking if you've eaten yet.
Mahal kita means I love you. So I love you is synonymous with if mom has said if you eat yet.
Lying in a home between worlds. A place where mahal kita is synonymous with mom asking if you've eaten yet. The prevailing aroma is fried tilapia and chicken adobo. And the house rule is to leave your shoes outside the door, for where you are standing
Facts.
is holy ground, coconut. Because you're brown on the outside and white on the inside. Because you're a States boy.
States boy. That means a Filipino American born. The derogatory term for American born is amboy. So if they call you amboy, they're looking for the smoke, is what I'm saying. States boy is the more correct term, but it's still not a good feeling to be called States boy. And it's wild because in California, there actually is a Filipino restaurant called Amboy where they're trying to, recontextualize the slur, but you know what I'm saying? It still stings.
Because you were born and raised in Cali. By the way, grade school classmates asked me, I heard Filipinos eat dog. So what does Fido taste like? Intindihan mo ang Tagalog? Relatives asked between glasses of Johnny Walker and Red Horse.
Natindihan mo Tagalog. That means, do you understand Tagalog? Red Horse is like this very strong, iron-tasting beer from the Philippines.
Buti naman, at least you can. Sige, inom na tayo.
That's a drink.
Because you're American, they figure. You don't know shit. You ain't drinking cultura. But how can I when you make it so damn basura? Kasi
Trash.
ang atsura mo parang mga puti. You look like a white boy. And then the accent comes out. Bound to happen when you're around the aunts and uncles and you're still a foreigner in their eyes because Taglish.
Taglish is half Tagalog, half English, kind of like Spanglish. So Taglish.
No, I am no foreigner. I am a sojourner. Traveling between worlds of rice and burgers, of chanelas and Nikes, of English and one of 8 major dialects, living between the hyphens of Phil-Am and I am Filipino. I am American. I am me. The best of both countries. And not good enough for both. You know what? Fuck you. I will never be enough for the aunts and uncles. Never be the typical Filipino nurse, lawyer, doctor, engineer. But the father of the Philippine Revolution says to love most of all yourself. So here is me being enough for myself. A renegade rebel. Loving my Phil-Amness and embracing all its quirks. Remembering that I come from a joyous people. Full of life and love, known for their hospitality and generosity, known to forego utensils for their own built-in ones. Call it kamayan, eating with the hand, never starving in a brownout while dinner guests struggle with their knives, forks, and spoons, knowing how to get the attention of a person by saying, hey you, or psst, Chuck.
There's actually a funny joke in the Philippines where if you go to a crowded place and you go, psst, you'll see like everybody's head like turn around because that's a Filipino call. It's like the most asshole-ish thing to do as a kid. Like when you go to the mall, go, psst, and go to Carson or wherever. It's like, yo, just don't do that, man.
Feeling his heads turn, knowing who the flips are in the crowd.
Flips is a derogatory term for Filipino that in the 2000s in the Asian Pride movement we tried to reclaim, but nah.
I know. I'll always be hella loud, especially during karaoke. The magic mic will always be plugged in, channeling the inner Bruno Mars since he's half Filipino and singing's in the blood, and anyone full, half, or quarter is a point of pride for my peoples. And to those ignorant grade school classmates, yo, I know the difference between saying your mom's a whore and putang ina mo. Side note, there isn't any. Your mom's a whore in any language. Also, your dog tastes a lot like chicken. But I digress. So here do I raise my glass to the sky, clink the heavens, and thank the good Lord on high to simply state that ako po ang Pilipino. Ako po ang American.
I'm Filipino.
Wala
I'm
ka
American.
aala sa buhay ko. Ako ang bahala. I am Filipino.
He translates.
I am American. Don't worry about my life. I'll worry about it myself.
All right. Cool. Let's give a little applause there. All right. So, Mr. William. All right, everybody in the chat, let us know what you think of that poem. Please give it a score out of 10 while we try to figure out what we're going through here. So, Mr. William Bissick, aka MC Prototype, Mr. Poet MC Educator. You having like a very close best friend who's also Filipino, and you were raised adjacent to him with his family, but at the same time may not have a full, intimate, detailed perspective about Asian American life as this poet does. Like, how does this particular poem hit you?
Oh, this one hit me deep. I don't think that I need to have understood every word to understand where he came from or what is coming from. I have a poem. It's called America's Favorite. It's about me being a Black American that grew up in the suburbs in Ontario, and having the same sort of identity crisis, feeling not Black enough, or my wife being half Irish, half Mexican, right? And then her having the same issues, right, with people in the Latin community or people in the Caucasian community, not feeling that she is enough, right? So I think that this poem resonates with a lot of people, because a lot of us, even if we are 100% something, like I'm 100% Black, I did not fit the mold of what the stereotypical Black man was. So this poem super resonated with me, even though like it's not like someone from Africa telling me like you're not Kenyan enough, right? It's people from Los Angeles, telling me, how do you speak the way you speak, right? Or me going home to my family in Chicago, right? And they look at me differently because I speak the way that I speak, right? So I love this piece. I feel like I've heard, this might sound negative, I've heard this piece a bunch of times, right? Because I feel poet has an identity piece. Yeah. And this is his identity piece, so I super appreciate it. It's not novel or groundbreaking by any means, but not every poet or poem needs to be novel or groundbreaking, right? Because this is his poetry and this is his reality. Super duper appreciate it.
That being said, score time, baby.
Score time, baby. Score time, baby. The piece is a hot 9, but I feel like if this is a slam, the performance got to be on par, and I feel like
it's also 4:30.
It's also 4:30.
Yeah, it's 4:26. It's 4 minutes 26.
Oh, 4 minutes. Yeah, he way over time, right? And so it's long. The delivery was choppy. My guy's sitting down. So if I'm looking at this,
for those that don't know, American poetry slam rules is 3 minutes. And if you go over 3 minutes, you might have like a 10-second grace period. But after that 10 seconds, you start getting points deducted. So when I say he's going 4:26, he would have got DQ'd, disqualified. But
Yeah.
But let's say it's like, you know, no time limit slam for whatever reason.
Yeah.
William, go.
Just go on forever. With all that being said, I would probably give it an 8.3. I'll give it an 8.3. I really appreciate the piece. It resonated with me a lot, but in terms of like the performance, I think it could have done a lot more. And I love what he did at the very end. I love that he said all of these lines in Tagalog and then translated it right after. And I think if he would have done a little bit more earlier, like a call and response, maybe say something in the native tongue and then respond to it in English. That way we inherently or intuitively know what was said in the other language. Right? It would have been like that much more dynamic, right? And like, oh, I get it. I see what they're saying here, right? But some of the stuff was kind of left on deaf ears. It was just like, all right, if you weren't pausing it and telling me, I would have been lost, right? I got the big picture, but I didn't get the small details. And those small details are, I'm sure, what really hit you because you understand the language.
For sure. All right. So an 8.3 from Mr. William Bissick, MC Prototype, poet, MC, and educator. That being said, we're going to go to the chat real quick. And the chat says, hold up. The chat says for Janine, old lady over there, she says at 8.5. Young lady, excuse me, pardon me. Young lady over there says at 8.5. Zachary Brion says 8. Z4 Tour gave it a 10. Let's go. For anyone putting in scores, please let us know why, like what your reasons for your scores are. Let us know, like, because we want to know what your poetry preferences are as well. That's the point. That's the entire point and exercise of the two-piece combo in giving scores, is that like we want to share our preferences for the art as well as discover, you know, what other things do other people like, so that we might try to like it. All right, cool. That being said, what you said, William, hold up. We said Jude S. Oh, from the God himself. He says, I feel that 8.3 is respectable. Thank you. I will definitely go back to the workshop on this. Let's go, man. Let's go.
Hey, if you want to, you don't have to go back and do anything, right? The piece is your piece. You can
you have to. 3 minutes, bro. 3 minutes or else you're disqualified, bro.
Let that man live. All right, go ahead.
All right, for sure. All right. That being said, I think like what you said, William, that it's not breaking any ground because we all have that identity piece, right? Like, I definitely written something like this. You've definitely, as you said, written something like this. It's just that for me, being also Filipino American, I super resonate with this because I understand his train of thought. But me being the age that I am, it's like I've already also come to like certain conclusions. I felt like this is a piece that I would have wrote at like 27 or 28. And me being in my more advanced years is like, okay, well, a lot of this doesn't need to be said anymore because I already get it. And to other people my age, this might seem like, I get it. I've been there. I think this particular poem would hit younger Filipino Americans more. Know what I'm saying? So depends on your audience, right? So like that's part of slam strategy, is that you kind of walk the crowd to see what is the demographic like of the stage, you know, for the stage. And if you see a lot of, you know, younger folks, it's like, okay, maybe I could hit them with this poem that might resonate. If you see more older folks, it's like, okay, they already know this part, so I might be able to hit them with that. I think
you play the judges and you play the room, right?
Exactly.
And I love the way that you pointed out playing the room, because a lot of people mess up. A lot of people mess up and only look at the judges. It's like, you know what? That looks like a teacher. That looks like a soccer mom. I know what poem to do. But like Kuya said, you have to play the room, because if you get the room, the judges will feel real bad giving it a bad score if you own the room. You have to play both. And I like that you're playing the room.
Temple tap. I invented that. Anyway. Yeah. So that being said, like I've definitely written something like this before. I appreciate a lot of what he did. Couple of things. One, it's very clear that this is probably like a first draft, second draft, because the man was reading. If this was like, if this was like very polished, he'd probably know it off page, right? He would probably have memorized it and he could work on the timing much better. But you see that he had little slip-ups, little stumbles, so that means that he's reading and trying to pick up where he left off. Reading is always a gamble when you perform. So you can read on open mic, but when it comes to slam, when it comes to competition, it's best that you don't read. That way, the whole like looking at your text and then looking back at the crowd and then looking back at your text, you don't get lost. Because if you get lost, you stumble, that's valuable seconds shaved off for your time. Mans is already over 3 minutes, 4:30, so you would have got DQ'd. But other than that, I prefer my pieces on the shorter side. Like I prefer a good 2:20, 2-minute piece. If you spit like 90 seconds of fire, yo, I'm more likely to give that a 10. Feel me? As far as the piece goes, content-wise, like I fuck with this heavy. At the same time, I feel like there's a lot of fat that can get cut out here. I feel like a lot of the things said, some of it was a little redundant. Like I feel like there are things that already got the point. Like when you said about your aunties and uncles, like kind of criticizing you for your accent and not being enough. Like that was already enough to make that point. And I don't think you needed to belabor it by giving further examples. So like you already had good examples there. And if I'm going to be consistent about my judging, you know, like I love my wordplay. I need my haymaker, and for me, there was neither a wordplay or haymaker. William, I think you hit the nail on the head of a call or response kind of thing. Like if I say a Tagalog thing, then follow it up immediately with an English thing, just to keep that sense of flow and duality like in play. So if I'm gonna go with my heart with this, is like as is. I gotta say, this is an 8 flat. Again, this is an 8 flat. But I think that with polish and editing, that there is definitely like a high 9, like a 9.8. There's a 9.8 in here. There's a 9.8. But you need that roller coaster. You need that. You need that haymaker. You need that one thing to make the crowd pop. I feel like there were like moments that was in the direction there, but before it could build up some steam, like you kind of started going into like a different narrative or a different part of the journey. I feel like you need to focus more a little bit on the narrative and like just build up to that like conflict moment. But then I said you a bitch. And I'm like, oh what? Something like that. Like the whole part of the your mom's a whore, putang ina mo. It's like you could have built to that. I feel like you could have really like made that a moment had you built up to that. In my opinion, IMO. A lot of people don't like cursing in slam. I'm kind of on that same boat, but I feel like there was something there, something in like translating a diss and connecting with it. Like there's something juicy there. I feel like so. Yeah, 8 flat from the guy, you know what I'm saying? And we've been giving some pretty solid scores, I feel like. So shout out to us for being consistent.
Dude, I just say something to you.
Go ahead.
Blame the time thing on Kuya because he said it was long. To me, it didn't feel long, and I've been around so much poetry that I'm like, oh, when is this gonna end? It didn't feel long. So if the timer wasn't there, I wouldn't have known it was long. Just wanted to let you know that it didn't feel long. It didn't feel like to wrap it up. It didn't feel like that to me. All right. Let's
look at the chat real quick. We got Jude saying, I feel every poet needs an identity piece, just something to either center them or remind them of their roots, which was the goal for this piece. Yo, big ups, man. Big ups. For Janine, she said, I love where the piece is going, appreciated the content, and can absolutely relate. Thank you for sharing. Aw, let's go. G4 Tour, I hope I'm not butchering your name. Let me know like if I'm screwing that up. G4 Tour says, content and personal vulnerability. Facts. It's very difficult to show people your scars, but that seems to be a thing that poets do for points, and that's something that's been talked about in the community, that like oftentimes we're teaching kids, especially Cup C kids, to Cup C is the collegiate circuit of poetry slam competition. Oftentimes, slam coaches are teaching Cup C kids to share their most traumatic moments in these poems, because those are the most heartfelt, and those are the things that the kids can tap into and vividly describe in poetic detail. But too often we're not consoling these kids afterwards. We're not giving them like a de-stressing space or a space to
having them relive traumas for points, which is it's kind of sketchy.
It's been talked about in the community and more often than not, right? And fabricate
trauma for points too, and to me that's a little bit worse. I've been in many rooms where I've gone up and talked to a poet after, and it's like, yo, I really felt that, and asked questions about it, and they were like, oh, that was just a story. Like, huh?
Is that wrong? I mean, like,
I don't know.
You write fiction, right? Like, if you can write fiction, then does that mean that he's just a really good fiction writer?
That's a debate for another time. Yeah. So I don't know.
Yo, we could get chopping to the fable. You know what I'm saying? We could get chopping to the fable. I would love your perspective on that, sir, because you know what? I used to be on that, like, oh, real hip hop, real MCs write their own shit. But honestly, if you can write a right, if you can write a better story that you didn't live through than a person who actually did live through that and they identify, then it's like, yo, your pen is kind of God tier, ain't it?
Yeah. Yo, I agree. And I think as I matured and got older, I was more appreciative of people's pen game for that reason. But when I was younger, it was all about, it's all about authenticity. And that authenticity comes from lived experience or very close, like secondhand experience, right? Maybe I didn't go through it, but my brother went through it and I'm writing about it, right? So it was very difficult for me to hear people write poems about experiences that they did not live, right? But at the end of the day, if the purpose was to reach someone and to help somebody get through something, and they do it, right? If it was their experience or not. And so, that's a fun conversation to have, and I'd be curious to what everyone thinks about that. So put that in the comments. Talk about that in the comments.
Yeah. All right. That being said, so real quick, thank you very much, Jude, for your submission, and appreciate it. Jude says, thank you. I appreciate the love and critique. I will definitely labor into this. Much love, yo. Hey, best. All right. That being said, we're down to our last two pieces. We're keeping it short and simple, tonight. We're only running 4 pieces. We're trying out a format where, just trying to keep it lighter tonight. And tonight, we are reviewing a piece of music from yours truly and a poem from Daniel He. So the Pen Clique boys are on the chopping block tonight. So get ready with the scores, because that's what's about to go down. That being said, let's reintroduce the 2-piece combo. I said, all right, so the 2-piece combo is where we review both music and poetry submitted by you. So if you want your music or poetry featured on our live channel, be sure to subscribe to us on both YouTube and on Instagram to submit. That's Instagram at Penclique, PENCLIQUE. And tonight we are joined by a special co-host, William Bissick. He's a poet, an MC, and an educator. Pomona Strong, gang, filling in for the god Daniel He's Mr. William Bissick in the building.
What's up? Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. It's been a joy. It's been an honor to sit virtually by your side and get to be get to witness some awesome poetry, some awesome music, and hopefully my words matter a little bit. I don't know. We'll see.
Your words matter. They always matter, bro. You know what I'm saying? But depends on what you have to say about this next piece, because this one's by yours truly.
You know what I'm saying? On the next pieces. So this is what I've been waiting on.
Tonight, Daniel He's the proper co-host of Pen Clique, who's currently out as he recovers from his surgery. he suggested that we review one of his poems, and I figured, oh, if we're going to review one of your poems, and because it's a two-piece combo where we review both music and poetry, I might as well throw a little something in there. So this was a young Kuya David, 2009, so that's over 10 years ago. Golly. And yeah, we're about to it's a quick, it's just a quick little 16, or maybe it's a 32 bar verse, I forget. But William Bissick over here, he's also an MC, aka MC Prototype, so he's gonna have some words to say. I can't wait for y'all to get in on it in the comments, and yeah, let's go. This was for my motion design final, where you learn how to do like a little motion graphics. So bear with it.
Yeah. It's about 1 a.m. on a Saturday night, or an early Sunday morning if we technically tight. All evening I've been drinking, sipping on the vodka Sprite. Now I wasn't giving a fuck like a virgin trying to fight. So I asked the homie if he got any cans. Said he got the flat black in the back of the van. Then I just saw a spot that was looking pretty hot. What kind of cap do it got? He said, a pink dot. Now I'm ready to rock. Start creeping through the lock while I'm shaking up the metal and hearing the ball drop. Security lights are turning on, but we passing up the point. I'm no returning sober, burn the can't wait to join. Cause I ain't trying to tag gang, get the trace back. Cause Phantom Squad gon' snap a shot and catalog your tags. And I'll be damned for catching another 30 days of bluffing. So I tie a shirt around my face before I start busting.
That's it. Oh yeah. I didn't want to give myself the air horns, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, the show. All right. So, if y'all can't already immediately tell, that that little verse was about graffiti. And at the time, like there was once a time when like hip hop was all 4 elements, bro, all 5 elements. If you gotta be all elements practicing, you gotta break dance, you gotta DJ, you gotta do graffiti, you gotta MC. And there was a point where like I was pretty deep into my graffiti phase of the hip hop culture. As an outsider, not an outsider, but as one who was an active participant in hip hop, I felt like, I need to be at least, like solid in all aspects. But I eventually only like rapped and did graffiti. And this was, I'm not gonna say if this is a true story or not. Oh, no, it's over 10 years, so statute of limitations is done, right? Yeah, so this is a true story. Yeah, fuck yeah. So the story is that this is just like a regular bombing night where like me and my homie were like, we're looking for spots to hit up, you know what I'm saying? And the wall, like you see over here, like this wall, this is actually like a wall that I hit, and that's why it's buffed. It has like a little like gray spot. Cause I actually hit that shit, and I thought, and I hit that because I knew that I was gonna like do this video, and I thought that my little throwy was gonna, a throwy is when you have a simple outline with a fill-in, also known as a throw-up. So also known as a burner sometimes, but burners are also kind of pieces, and pieces are like 3 or 4 more colors. Anyway, so I thought my throwy was still gonna be here, but it wasn't. So I was like, oh fuck it, it's cool, like doesn't even matter. And yeah, tight. What else was I gonna say? This was for my motion graphics final. It was like a 101 course on motion design. So like the motion tracking is kind of wonky because I'm not too adept at it at the time, but it did serve its purpose. Like if you look at this, like this little section here,
like a virgin trying to fight. So I asked the homie if he got any cans. Said he got the flat black in the back of the van.
At the time, flat black, Krylon flat black was like the only good Krylon color that they used or had before they switched over to the male to the female caps. And then at the time,
then I just saw a spot that was looking pretty hot. What kind of cap do it got? He said, a pink dot.
A pink dot is a fat fill-in cap, and it was used for very quick fill-ins. And at the time, that's when flaring was started to become a thing in graffiti. So you could do like these like really wide, flares that shrink down depending on how you angle your can. But pink dots aren't that great anymore because New York fats seem to have been like the more operating fat for tagging and stuff. Anyway, I'm going way too deep into this detail. I'm not even, I can't even like fucking review my own shit. So
chat is so nervous about the review that he's giving us the history of spray paint and graffiti. All right.
All right.
Let's get to them bars. Let's get to those bars.
Go ahead. All right. No. Real quick. I would if I was to review myself, I would give my like. I don't have haymakers in this. I would not have chosen this to slam with. This would definitely have been like a feature piece or just an open mic piece. This is not built for slam. I'm giving myself mid 8s. Okay, there we go.
Hey.
I gotta do it.
All right, cool. So I appreciate the hip hop history. The song about graffiti. I have a song about graffiti. Yeah, I appreciate the graph lesson. Actually, see, Janine's on board with that. I think, you know, in terms of the song, there were no haymakers. There wasn't one time that I was like, yo, that's bars right there. It was a song about graffiti. Just like I had said about the thought, you know, about him just staying in the pocket, right? You stayed in the same pocket and it was very like predictable. I could have finished your lines. That's how predictable they were, right? And so just from an MC standpoint, like I love like listening to something and thinking I know what they're gonna say next, and they're like, "Oh, you got me. Yeah, you switched it up, right?" And this was very predictable in that. And it sounds dated, right? I know you're gonna say it's old, but you know, what was it? 2009?
Yeah.
2009. All right, so I'm gonna give you guys some context. If you guys don't know what 2009 was You Would Jerk. Blame It on the Alcohol was 2009. Drake, Best I Ever Had, right? So when you put this into context with what else was going on in 2009 wasn't like Curtis Blow time. So I feel like the raps were a little dated, a little late 90s in style, or mid 90s in style. Except if you're Outkast. Outkast was ahead of their time. So in 96, Outkast was killing it. All right, so I would give this I give it a 7. I give it a solid 7. I love the concept. I love the paying homage to the art, paying homage to hip hop as a whole, and bringing in the other elements. But in terms of just being a rap song in a competition, I needed more.
Fair enough. Definitely not a slam piece for sure, as we all say. And yeah, I gotta acknowledge like all the points you made. It's like fucking. I didn't have any haymakers. I was just trying to tell a story, but even then, like, this is more of a narrative piece. But at the same time, it's like you could still interweave haymakers into story pieces. I just didn't know how to do that at the time. But
I have a question for you.
Enough. Go ahead, sir.
Was the piece written for the video production class, or did you decide to use a piece to do your project?
This is one of those loose 16s that you sometimes write.
You just had it in the back pocket and you just brought it out for the project.
This is one of those ones where you step into the cipher and be like, all right, yo, I got a verse, you know what I'm saying?
I got a bunch of those.
I used to walk around with like 3 or 4 32 bar joints, you know what I'm saying? And like I would have like my battle-ish one. I would have like my conscious real hip hop, you know what I'm saying? Like I would have that one, you know, like and I have like, you know, my graffiti joint. So if I was like at the airliner with a bunch of other graph head kids, it's like, oh yeah, he's rapping about pink dot caps and fucking like, you know, doing burners and character pieces. I'm like, yeah. Bro,
yeah, you just got to be careful who you bring around, because you know some of your homies be playing you out like, man, I heard that one last week, man.
Yeah, for
that
sure.
Ain't a freestyle.
I think like the most the one little wordplay run I'm proud of in this one is Vandal Squad going snap a shot and catalog your tags. It's like that little little 3 multi, you know what I'm saying? Vandal Squad going snap a shot and catalog your tags. And I'll be damned if I catch another 30 days of buffing, which happened. I got caught for graffiti because I was drunk one night and I got fucking caught. So I tie a shirt around my face before I start busting. So you know, Yakuya was already masked up before the whole pandemic. Feel me? But yeah, that was Kuya, who got a flat 7 from William Bissick. Fair enough. I got and going to the chat, we got Jude, who said, "Clean, homie, good timing with the rapping and graphics. Thank you, sir. Wish it was longer." You got an A, right? Yeah, 9.0. Oh, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Janine, she says, "I'd give it an 8 in the time it was written. I'd give it a 7.8. Fair enough. We'll give it that a little wow. Yeah. All good. That being said, everyone, get ready for our next piece by Daniel Hees, which is like unfair to have because like this was during Daniel's slam run. So Daniel was already in top form at the time. So this was Daniel Hees like writing for competition specifically. So Daniel Hees like he was ready for this one. So before we get into that, real quick, let me reintroduce the whole thing. I said the 2-piece combo is where we review both music and poetry submitted by you. If you want your music or poetry featured on our live stream, be sure to follow us on Instagram at Penclique, PENCLIQUE, and follow us for all calls of submission. But tonight is a very special night because not only do we have a special guest host, William Bissick, he's a poet, an MC, and an educator, but tonight we are going to review Daniel Hees' poem when he was in the middle of his slam run back in 2015. This is his poem called Sit Complications. So, yo, it's time that the Penclique boys are on the chopping block. So, yo, let's get to it. William, you ready, sir? Let's get
I'm ready. Let's do this.
All right. And chat, let us know what you think of this poem and get ready with your scores. All right, let's go.
This is a piece, speaking of love, for every little boy.
This is back when Daniel Hees had dreadlocks. You remember that? He had these like ratty ass dreads that he still has in a plastic bag somewhere in his house.
I'm gonna judge him.
Every little boy, I guess every person that was just old enough to fall in love with Winnie Cooper, and then just young enough to get hit with that Topanga Lawrence too. See me? I keep trying to restrict my view to a box because in there the problems get laughed off. Like in life, real life, Ralph Cramden would have beat his wife. And my mind is dodging cliches and stereotypes because I'm afraid I've learned to embrace the wool I pull over my eyes every night. Because Danny Tanner would have drank a lot. And Alf, little Alf, would have been taken by the government, put to sleep, and cut up. And that 21 Jump Street is a fantasy fucking fairy tale about cops. The Leos I know going through growing pains ended up addicted, sick, or dead from the strain. Our high school Steve Urkel threw himself under a train because there was no Myra Monkhouse to make him feel less strange.
Yo, shout out to all the Zoomers who are like, what the fuck is he talking about? But to all our millennial heads, we're like, I also watch TGIF, gang, let's go.
Kids won't be quirky and cool like Third Rock from the Sun. And that coffee house friend squat, that shit ain't fun. And Al Bundy was a male chauvinist, alcoholic, and a bum. And Peggy Bundy in real life would have weighed a fucking ton. Both struggling to raise grandbabies left by their slutty daughter and dumb son. It's because Pete and Pete makes me depressed at best. And Jill Taylor caught Tim fucking Heidi on his desk, left with the kids, won't marry again just to fuck Tim over with that monthly alimony check. And it's because living single ain't that fucking easy. And Roseanne really made all that shit up. And you know what? I fucking hate Raymond, because he's a mama's boy bitch, and most women don't stand for that shit. They end up bickering and fighting with your mom, ruining Christmas. So, this is it, kids. My breaking the box by my bedside, because I can't keep thinking that's life. Like, which sitcom will I be lucky enough to find? Like, which channel number is connected to the divine? And all in all, I'm sure I'll be just fine. But my eyes may keep looking for that black outline. Thank
you. Yeah, let's go.
Yo,
you speechless?
Man, I'm gonna tell you I'm mad right now. You wanna know why I'm mad? Is I really wanted to go in on both of these Pink Click hosts. I really wanted to go in on both of them. But this was kind of hot, man. There's some fire here, so I'm ready to talk about it.
All right, real quick, let's look at the chat. We got flame emojis from Janine, Judas Tongue, aka Harold. He says Rasta Clut. IMC Britain says Alf Gang. Janine gave 4 flame emojis. Living Single song was the moment. Good crowd participation. IMC Britain says Living Single over Friends. For Janine says 9.6. Let's go with the flame emoji. All right, but yo, before we get to you, I really want to speak on this first, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so I have my slam run was like right before Daniel He's slam run, so we didn't really get to see each other when we were doing each other's slam runs, and that's a shame because like what I see now when Daniel performs is all of his feature pieces. It's all of his like very well thought piece, very, very like intimate and like personal story pieces. I don't ever get to see the competition pieces from Daniel, so this is actually my first time hearing this one, and it's like 2015. So he has like the whole like talking intro into the piece that was really popular at the time, and this was around when word association schemes were getting more popular. So every time he name drops like a show, and then he would go into it. Like this was super hot for the time, and you could hear like the crowd just like hella snap, and he was getting them crowd pops. I heavily fuck with like what he was doing here. I'm just like I'm super surprised. It's like, dude, like competition Daniel was like, he was a beast, bro. This was a hard piece. I love wordplay. I feel like he's had like a couple of nice, maybe not haymakers, but a lot of nice solid punches here. And he was it's what we call punches and bunches, where he's just landing a bunch of punches back to back. In my personal opinion, like that's what I was feeling. He was punches and bunches. So. Yo, I give a Chubby Fat God, I give him like a 9.5. Give him a 9.5. But here's the thing, I don't think like I think like this is probably the best that this piece will be at, because I can't imagine what else he can add on to it. So I don't know what more can he add or subtract from it to get to the 10. But as is, I think this is like a super solid piece. I'd probably make this like a second round joint to get into the third. If this was a first round piece, like it might be shaky where he is in the line, because score creep is very real. But I think like off rip, as we've reviewed already 3 other pieces, 9.5, yeah, for sure.
Cool.
My turn says 8.5. Jude S says wow, 9.5. Good crowd work. Bring all those shows are nostalgic. It wasn't that nostalgic at the time where he performed it. It was 2015, so that was when millennials were actually still young. You know what I'm saying? So let's go. All right,
yo,
William,
yo,
you got tongue low. We could see it.
Yo, thank you, Jude, for saying the word nostalgic. I was searching for that word and I could not think of the word. All right, so yes, I would have to say it was very, very nostalgic. Even in whatever year it was, 2015, these shows were shows from the 90s, and it took me back. I do agree with what Kuya David said, that this is the best score that it'll ever get. I think now the crowds are so mixed that a lot of the references wouldn't hit, right, the way that they hit us, right? And so I think that at that time was the right time. This is my kind of piece, right? And I don't know if Daniel was influenced by these people, but I heard two people, and this might go over all of your heads. You guys don't know who these people are, but one, my guy NQ, love NQ. I heard NQ in here a little bit, and the other person that I heard was Paul Maybon, my guy Paul Maybon. You can find him on progressive commercials now, but like he has a unique way of like making you laugh and then say something really serious right after, make you feel guilty that you just laughed at the line before. You're like, oh, I didn't know that was serious. Oh, I thought it was just a funny line, right? And I love when poets do it because as an audience member, like the casual audience member does not remember lines. They remember feelings. And that's what I teach my poetry students, right? And if they want to become a performing poet, right? Make people feel something, right? Take them on an emotional roller coaster. If you can say something that has them laughing and then jab them right after and make them feel like bad about the fact that they just laughed at something, they're going to remember that feeling. And I love that Daniel snuck this in there. This poem, what I appreciated most about the poem is the perspectives that he was giving, right? It was, right, if this was a real person, this is what they would have looked like. If this was a real situation, this is the type of person they would have been. But this is Hollywood. This is acting. This is not reality. And I think, I don't know if that was the message, but I love that piece. I love that part of the poem. And the crowd participation, like you said, this is a slam piece. To me, this was a first rounder, not a second rounder, not a third rounder, but this is a first rounder. This is the one that you just throw out there and people were like, oh, I wasn't expecting that from that guy. Okay. That guy did it. Let's move him on. I'm curious. This is the audition piece on American Idol, the one that has the audience like, hey, that's not what I was thinking he was gonna go. He took it there. Okay, let's send him to Hollywood, see what else he has, right? So I give him a 9. It's definitely not a 10 piece, but this has my guy sliding into the second round with ease, man. I love this piece. I'm so glad you showed me this piece, man. I'm a fan of Daniel and his poetry. I didn't even know Daniel like that. Like you said, like I know his serious piece. I love seeing this other side of him. So hot 9.
Yeah, this was dope. This was dope to see. In the chat, we got a few more comments. We got IMC Britain saying, yeah, lots of punches and word association, yo. In 2015, that was a heater, and it still hits today. #classic. Janine says, agree, younger audiences won't get this as much as the 30 pluses in the crowd now. This was great though. Yeah, so maybe our ages are biasing us towards this piece. I'm really curious what the 20-somethings have to say about it. So if you are in your 20s or even younger, let us know in the comments what you thought about Daniel Heath's piece. Does any of this make sense at all? And if it does, then how much backlogging are you going through your Hulu and Netflix account? And how much of that is being forced upon you by your parents? It's like, hey, you better watch this Full House. Not Fuller House, but Full House. Feel me?
Yeah.
Cut it out. All right. Judas Tongue says 9.5. Being raised by TV, I'm biased. Those references get me every time. Love the bars. I haven't listened to this poem since we recorded Dan's EP. Still a fave. Watching DVDs on commentary only vibes. Let's go. Hey, So yeah, that was the 2-piece combo for tonight, guys. Really short and sweet, only 4 pieces. Thank you very much, William Bissick, aka MC Prototype, for being a co-host, poet, MC, and educator. William Bissick, please give your plug, shout outs, and all that good stuff, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you, Pin Click. Thank you, Daniel Hees, the Chubby Fat. Thank you, Kuya David, for having me. It's been a blast. I love your productions. It's always an honor to sit aside you. And a quick plug, shop at Vital Pomona, downtown Pomona Arts Colony. It's a community space, a gift shop, and a tea shop in the heart of the Pomona Arts Colony in downtown Pomona. And second Saturday, every Saturday of the month. So make sure you come check us out in downtown Pomona. That's that.
Yeah. Thank you very much to William Bissick and Vital Pomona, and thank all of you for submitting your work. If you want your work submitted and if you want your work to be featured on our live stream, be sure to follow us on Instagram at PenClique, PenClique, the most poppin' poetry platform on the internet. I suppose, I don't know. It's like, are we a platform? Are we a channel? Are we content creators? I have no idea at this point. We're just in the digital poetry ether, combining poems and pixels together to bring you the most fun, engaging poetry content that we can. All right, guys. What else? We have a couple more special guests coming up, lined up. Daniel he's doing well. His surgery went well, so thank goodness. You can follow him at The Chubby Fat for more information about his recovery process. And open mic, I'm trying to bring the open mic back for the end of the month. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should we do like more open mics? Should we do like 2 open mics and two-piece combo live streams? Let us know. I don't know. Chat, what do y'all think? Like, do more open mics? Or should we only do like open mics like once a month to keep it special, keep it lit? I don't know. Let us know. So yeah, thank you everyone. And William Bissick over here. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Gang. Y'all have a good weekend. Hey.